What is up, everybody? M Novo coming at you with another one. I am back. Things are getting better in the household. Anyways, this kind of jumped on my radar. I'm looking at Tesla right now. It's been beaten down, and there's a couple of interesting patterns or angles that I'm looking at that seems to be catching my eye. And right now we're on the 1 hour chart. You can see that we've been, just slowly dogging it down, down, down. And we are about to test this low. And this low is sitting at around the 692. Um, this looked like it was going to be a higher low and it got resisted. And let's have a look and see if we can figure out why. So I'm looking at this trend line right here. Let me see. So I'm looking at this trend line right here, more or less that angle. Had a breakthrough with low energy, came down, tested it, and then rolled over and came all the way down here, right? But now we're starting to see a shallower angle, which is this guy right here. And we are trying to figure out where the support angle is going to be. So it might be somewhere along here. If this is the indeed the bottom, I think it's going to be a little lower, and I'll show you why. We're going to use a GAN fan, and we're going to see if we can see some confluence of this angle here. So we can see that this wedge is kind of pointing to about here. Let's put an eyeball there because we're kind of looking at that area. But now I'm going to grab the GAN fan and I'm going to levitate it over to this point here. And right about there. Now, can you see how we're just hitting this 1/3 line now? So I think what we're going to do is wherever we bounce, this line needs to be broken. So we've seen this trend line. We're now seeing this trend line. Once we get a confirmation of a close above this line on the 1 hour, that could be a signal that things are about to turn bullish to the upside. Looking at the money flow index, we're kind of bottomed out here. It looks like we're on the verge of a turn. And the RSI isn't quite down around the 30 mark or in the oversold territory, but it looks like this is where some turns have happened in the past, so we're very close. Looking at the APO and MACD, the APO is just starting to cross the signal, and the APO has not flashed a green dot saying that we're going to turn as well. Now, because we're over here, I think this will be a small turn, and then we will see our higher low, at which point this will suddenly become some sort of consolidation bull as we start to move to the upside. So where is this going to happen? Well, let's have a peek. Let's go to daily and we'll stretch it out. I'm doing this on my 4K screen, so I'm not sure how clear it's going to be. So the APO MACD, red candles, very weak. The green candles are high, even if they're red. That's a red day, but it's on the green side of climbing. So this would be opportunistic pullbacks, right? To buy and flip. Looking here, we can see how the noise has quieted down, and this is not a lot, but we got lower lows, and here we're starting to kind of get higher highs, or more like a double bottom, but we're starting to get some convergence on price. And once the MACD crosses the zero cross, I think that will be the start of a next strong rally. And again, it's probably going to be similar to this over here, we'll get a repeat of that cycle. So where is the next bounce going to be? This candle is today. It has not closed. It's kind of got that doji feeling to it, a bit of indecision. Um, we had the gap down, and is it a gap down? Let me turn this off. Pretty sure it is. Yeah. So we had a gap down start at around 780, currently around 775. And if we look left, where was the argument? We're just testing that support level here. So we may come down around the 740, 760, 740 area, and we're watching for a bounce off of that. So again, don't put your eggs all in one basket, but I think it's time where traders are going to start accumulating. We've got this gap here, and that's roughly where price is testing. Okay. Hail Mary bids, probably down a little lower. If you see a wick sell off, I don't see us going down sub 700. It's possible, but then that cancels this guy out here, right? We need to close above 700, which is why I'm starting to think this area, technically this area right here. And this was, well, I could probably go a little bit lower, but it really worries me if we go all the way down. So this could be a double bottom maybe. And that would put us maybe April if this keeps dogging down. If the institutions are still shorting, I don't think they are. I think they're in a state of accumulation right now. So it shows support above here, support above here, support above here. That explains this candle here, the big sell off, and then, the gap down, and then the run up. And I think this is where we're testing. Uh, if we go up, I think we might push down a little lower. So, yeah, between 748 and 730, anywhere around those areas, I think is going to be where the sale price is going to be um, for Tesla. What else? Okay, so let's play with Fibonacci levels. So we're going to delete that. What are we at? 7 minutes. Fib retracements. Okay, so I'm going to go back down to the 1 hour. And from here to here, I went the wrong way. So let's go from like so to about, I believe it's there. And we'll stretch this out. So this is kind of a rollover, and lo and behold, we're right, the Wall Street 666 level and the 618, two wicks right on the 618. I think we're very close to where the bounce is supposed to be. And this wick is signifying heavy buying pressure down here. So the final sell off. And if we see a bounce here, we need to figure out what the sentiment for most people are right now. And as the APO and MACD are still below the zero cross, we're supposed to still be on the bearish side, right? So if we're adding to the position, we are adding slowly until we can step on the gas when we cross the zero cross. And I think like we're right there. I think we're right there. And the 761 dollar mark is the 666 level. And if we stretch this out, the 618 is the 769, 770 level. So I think we are very close to a turn and accumulation. Does this change if we do daily? while we were just there. And yeah, it just feels like a bottom to me. So we'll have to wait and see how this plays out. Again, it's not confirmed. We're not higher lows yet. We had a higher low, which resisted this line, which means this trend line is probably very important. And the only way that we can, or a way that I would consider that we confirm that the trend line is broken, is if we go to test the next one, right? So where are you here? I'm a little off. A little bit off. Anyways, um, so the next trend line to test will likely be this guy right here. And if we've got a head and shoulders pattern here, that will likely be the next turn. We can kind of predict it by gauging the bottom to the trend line and then grabbing that to wherever the bounce is. And I guess it's kind of screaming a double bottom, right? Double bottom and then back up, which will likely test us for further climbing up to like so. If we gauge off of this candle. So let's clean this up so that it's not a big bloody mess. So I think this is the wedge pattern that we're going to be looking at, and a breakout. And this will probably be the start of the run. We'll break out and then come down and try and find support on this trend line. Kind of clean this up a little bit more. There you go. So this might be the make or break date, end of March. On the daily, it looks like it's about to flash to the downside, which might be why there may be a continuation. I'm not sure. We just might see a little bit of sideways action as we test this. It might be a little lower. Let's use the GAN fan to figure that one out too. So from here to here, this might be the line here. And if that's the case, I'm starting to like that actually. So we're going to look at that line for support. We can leave that there. Delete. And where is the 618? Let's draw a horizontal price line roughly around the 618. Actually, we'll move this guy here. That might be make or break. April Fool's Day. Isn't that normally a turn? So yeah, okay. We'll get rid of that. So essentially, we've got the accumulation zone that we spoke about, 730 to about 770. We'll make those nice even numbers. So 770, 13 minutes, almost 14, 730, and 699 or 700. And I don't know why, but 748 keeps jumping into my mind. Whether it'll be um, the price that we bounce at, I'm not sure, but I think this might be the wedge pattern that we're going to be testing. So wherever, if we bounce on this, we may break through this wedge only to come back down and test for a continuation to the upside, at which point we'll start looking at some Ganfan angles, I guess. But right now, we're still in bearish territory, right? So we don't go full bore down here. This is the shorter's last gasp. And then we wait to see how they get hurt. And once they get hurt, people will go long, at which point we turn around and we go opposite and wait to accumulate at a higher price on the downturn, and then hopefully a pivot to, I guess it would be more sideways action as we try and create the consolidation bowl. Where is it? Actually, why don't we just go from here? So you can see how we're just kind of within this area here. And if we move like so and move this up as a resistance arc, it could be that, you know, any candles going up above here would be resisted as we find support down in this lower bowl, right? So we had this channel that curves up, is where I think Tesla might be searching for support. So I believe that's it. We'll make that the thumbnail and we'll call it a day. Thank you for your patience. I'm hoping to do more videos, and I think the next one might actually be Amazon because of the split. All right, take care.